Residents of Steinbach woke up to a flooded city Wednesday morning. A freak rainstorm dumped more than 3 inches of water on the city in the space of an hour. Randy Reimer is the head of Public Works, and he says the city's sewer system had all it could take.
With all the main drains that run through Steinbach being filled up as a result of the rain, any water accumulating on the streets, those storm drains take that water to those main drains, and if the main drains are full, it just takes some time before the water dissipates off the street.
Natalie Hazell of Environment Canada says the storm system was a little offshoot of a system passing through the Dakotas.
Associated with that, I guess, there was this little line of instability that was still creeping its way around in southern Manitoba basically just over Steinbach. And this line of instability was a little bit strange, though, because normally at this time of year, if the clouds get that tall, you start to see sparks out of them. You start to see lightning. But there wasn't any lightning in this example.
Callers to the radio station echoed how isolated the system was. Tanya, who lives in St. Anne, says there wasn't a dropout her way, but as her and her husband drove to Steinbach for work, they realized there was just a bit of water in the city.
I could see that there was water up on people's driveways already. There was one gentleman, and his car was almost to the floorboard. This was 4:30 in the morning. People were still sleeping. I unfortunately did not get to work. The car stalled, and we sat. It was towed home, and it drying out and whatnot all. But it was definitely an adventure this morning, and yet to drive out of town. It was not a drop. It was just unbelievable. It was just like Steinbach was in its own bubble this morning, and it just got dumped on.
The flooded streets didn't deter many drivers, and Hazell says people should use caution when they see flooded streets and roads.
You're not supposed to drive through large amounts of water on the road that wasn't there before, because if it's moving, it can actually pick up your car, so that's one thing. And second, because you can't see what's happened under it. And the problem with a sinkhole, especially under the water, you can't see that that's happened. So unless you're absolutely sure of where you're driving, try not to drive through areas where the road is being washed out or where there's a lot of rain on the road.
Dan Charette from La Broquerie might heed that information next time.
Have water about up to here, flooded up to my seats. Stalled out, and me and my buddy, we pushed it up here, and it's been here since 5:30, yeah. Good thing Tim Horns is here. I used Tim's cup as a bailing bucket.
Have you ever seen anything like this in Steinbach before?
Never.
The sign at the local McDonald's says open 24 hours, but not today. They were forced to close due to flooding. And the Steinbach Fly-In Golf Course will likely be closed for a few days as they wait for the water to drain away. A number of low-lying fairways were flooded and water hazards were spilling over. In terms of residential issues, the city has reports of very few flooded basements, and by 10 a.m. Wednesday morning, most of the water on the streets was gone. There is more rain in the forecast, but Environment Canada says it will likely be nothing like what we experienced overnight. Reporting for Steinbach Online, I'm Jeremy St. Louis.